Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is the Wrestling Wrap-Up. We're going to review AEW, or not AEW, but WWE AAA Worlds Collide. So let's talk about that show. Hey guys, and welcome to the Monday edition of the Wrestling Wrap-Up. Today's big topics, we're going to review the whole show for WWE AAA Worlds Collide. I was looking at my notes here, and for some reason where it says WWE X AAA, my freaking eyes merged them together, and so I saw AWE, and then my dyslexia went crazy there. But not AEW Worlds Collide, WWE AAA Worlds Collide. Plus, we'll talk about everything that we know going on with Andrade no longer being in WWE. We'll preview Raw and maybe a little bit more. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Now, if you guys haven't heard already, I'm starting a new job tomorrow, and most things shouldn't be changing with Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Still going to be posting videos on YouTube, giving you guys the news and my opinions. Still going to be posting posts on Instagram and Facebook and X and all of that. But what is going to probably change is this show, the Wrestling Wrap-Up, in a twice-a-week live format. What I think I'm going to do, at least at the start, till I get my full schedule, how do I explain it, settled, and I know what's what and how long I'm going to be gone at work and when I get home. And regardless, the plan right now is probably to record the Wrestling Wrap-Up now on Thursday evenings, and then have it post as a YouTube premiere video on Friday mornings. So it won't go up on Twitch, unfortunately. The Wrestling Wrap-Up won't be a Twitch thing anymore, at least for the time being, unless I can figure out. I got to look at some stuff. But right now, the plan is for it to be a YouTube exclusive deal now. It's going to be a premiere, not a live video, and we'll go from there. I still want to do this show because I like taking the 45 minutes or so to talk things. And if it's like this Worlds Collide, I'm not going to wait all the way till the end of the week to review the show. We will do an extra Monday show. So that is something. Some weeks you might get to Wrestling Wrap-Ups. Some weeks you may not. It just all depends on scheduling, timing, and what's out there to talk about. Like if there's a big Andrade story like there was this weekend, maybe on a Sunday night, I go and I record a Wrestling Wrap-Up and then post it on Monday morning. But for right now, the Wrestling Wrap-Up shows are not going to be live shows. They're going to be YouTube premieres. I'm still going to record them and what's the word I'm looking for? I'm still going to record them and produce them just like the live shows, other than I'm not reading a live chat. That's going to be the only difference. Now, what we could do, if you guys were interested, we could do them on Thursday nights, and there could be a live chat for Patreon subscribers or YouTube chat members or YouTube channel members. We could do that as well, to where Thursday nights, if you're a Patreon subscriber or if you're a channel member, then you will get access to the live recording, and then everyone else will watch it Friday morning. That is an option I was thinking about as well. Let me know what you guys think on that one. But also, again, like I stated, I start the new job tomorrow, so things are going to be, I wouldn't say in limbo, but I'm going to try and balance everything as well as possible. We will still do the Raw review tonight. Luke's got some school stuff, so it's just going to be me going solo, and we'll see how that all does play out. But again, I want to say thank you for joining us here on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. If you're watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below, or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Excuse me. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know we post new videos. That way you know we go live. And that way you know we post to the community tab. Also, remember, you can help us out by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. Sorry, I got distracted because the Twitch chat reset on me, and I was making sure the Twitch stream didn't go down or anything. But also remember, you can help us out by hitting the join button and becoming a channel member. You get a badge next to your name, emotes and emojis you can use in the live chat, our graphics packages, and our graphics tutorials. Also, remember, you can get all of that over at patreon.com/PWU Unlimited and a more condensed version. Like, easier to navigate, I would say. And finally, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Games Store. There it goes. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. John Cena's got a second Fortnite skin. It's Peacemaker. And if you're interested in getting the Peacemaker skin, when you go to the shop on Fortnite, whether that's your PlayStation, your Xbox, your Switch, your phone, your tablet, your Amazon Fire Stick, your Google TV, whatever allows you to play Fortnite, your computer, go to the bottom of the store and put in this code, PWUNLIMITED, at the bottom of the Fortnite shop. It will ask you if you have a support a creator code, and you do. It's PW Unlimited. Just make sure you put that in before you make your purchase in the store. And it works on everything, not just your computer with the Epic Games Store. This works with everything in the actual Fortnite store. But with all of that, Esports Gaming Rules with the bit donation. We'll get in that really fast before we talk Worlds Collide. He says, the WWE Universe were chanting, "You sold out" at WWE TKO and Triple H during the Riyadh WrestleMania announcement at Worlds Collide. Everyone was surprised that Crawford beat Canelo. I wouldn't say everybody was. So we'll talk about that really fast because we watched that live on stream on Saturday night. I wouldn't say everybody was surprised Crawford beat Canelo, because if you watch their pre-show panel, well, I guess not the pre-show panel, but whatever the Mario Lopez panel of experts were, I don't know, all those guys on there, I think more picked Crawford than Canelo. I think out of the four, I know Mario Lopez picked Canelo because he was like, "Oh, Mexican Independence Day, I gotta stick with my guy, Canelo." But I might have this wrong because we were also playing games at the same time and I was half paying attention at that. I want to say 3 of them picked Crawford, if not at least 2 of them. I know at least 2 of them did. So it's like, I wouldn't say everyone was surprised Crawford beat Canelo. I wouldn't say that at all. As far as the "you sold out" chants to WWE and TKO, get the frick over it. I said this the other day. Get over it, fans. They're just, how do I explain this without sounding like a total dick? They're just mad for nothing. How would I say it like that? They're upset for no reason. In retrospect, are there fans that may be upset because they do go to WrestleMania every year? Because every year they save their money for that one big vacation, WrestleMania weekend? Sure, there are fans that do that. There are fans that save their money all year long just so they can go to WrestleMania. I know a couple that's their big vacation with them and their spouse. And sure, they can be upset because they're like, "Oh, I'm not going to Saudi." And so perfect example. One friend that I know, that him and his wife go to Mania every year, told me, "I'm mad they're going to Saudi." And I said, "Well, can you tell me why?" Because that's all you said. "I'm mad they're going to Saudi." I'm like, "Well, can you explain to me why you're mad?" And his example was, "I'm not mad that the company is running in Saudi. I'm mad that it's now going to cost me more to go to a show in Saudi if I still want to go to Mania." I'm like, "Well, that makes sense." Because he said, the flight from his house in California to Saudi is going to be way more expensive than his house in California to anywhere in the United States. And then he said he was looking up hotel prices, and the hotel prices are more expensive than in the United States as well. So that's why he's upset. And I understand that one. For people that go every year and go, if it was cheaper, I'd still, like, if it was cheaper, they would still go in Saudi. But it's not. Now they have to save more money, and they just can't save more than their normal, I guess you would say, WrestleMania trip budget. But all the majority of people, "You sold out, sell out," so all those chants are just people because that's the cool thing to do. Because people are doing it online, so we're going to do it, and we're going to chant it. And we're supposed to hate Saudi Arabia. Yet, how many companies now work in Saudi Arabia and do events and stuff from Saudi Arabia? Many. Not just WWE. UFC is now there. After even Ari Emanuel, who owns TKO, had said at one point when he ran the when they bought the UFC, "No, we're not going to try and get the UFC to Saudi. We don't want to work with Saudi." Then they merged with WWE. Vince convinced him, and now they're all in on Saudi. All in on Saudi. And so we got that. I want to say FIFA is doing some stuff with Saudi, with the Live Golf stuff based out of Saudi and whatnot. So it's like, I find it, and a lot of people are not going to like me to say this, I find it as fake rage. I find it as fake outrage just because that's the cool thing to do. Just because that's the cool thing to do. Just like that, and I don't want to make it political. Cool thing to do is just shit on Donald Trump, the president of the United States. It's cool to go online and crap on Trump because it makes you look cool online. And so all the people bitching and moaning and whining and complaining about WrestleMania in Saudi, I'm not going to watch. I know a few that may not watch. I have a friend that when they started the Saudi shows in 2018 said, I can't condone that. And has never watched the Saudi show, and I can confirm that. Okay, so there might be some. But again, the majority that says, I'm not watching, ain't going to watch, or are still going to watch. The same people that always go, oh, we're going back to Saudi, I'm not watching this show, are then live tweeting. The show. It happens all the time. Everyone's going to say, I'm not watching the Rumble this year. Yeah, okay. There's going to be record amounts of social engagement probably for the Royal Rumble next year. So especially, here's the other thing. All these people that are saying, I'm not watching Rumble from Saudi, I'm not watching WrestleMania from Saudi, are going to be the same people that go, oh, this is good. An early morning Royal Rumble, an early morning WrestleMania. I'm not up till midnight watching the WrestleMania. The people that are going to tweet that are going to be the same people that are going to say, I'm not watching Saudi shows. Are the same ones that go, no, it's cool watching these shows early. So, yeah, that's my thing about the you sold out chance. I find it, and you can hate me, agree with me, not agree with me, whatever. I find it as fake outrage. I find it as fake outrage because most of the people that are booing and chanting this are still going to watch the show. Are not people that are going to go to it live anyways or would have gone to it live anyways. You're going to watch from your house. So in retrospect, what does it matter? What does it matter where the show comes from? Like, I always see the people going, but the Saudi shows are just so bad. All the Saudi shows just suck. Really? Because people were praising Night of Champions this year. We had Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes in the King of the Ring finals. We had CM Punk and John Cena. Everyone was praising those matches, saying how fun those matches were, how good those matches were. Because you forgot they were in Saudi, and then you forgot that you're not supposed to like any matches that take place in Saudi. Just saying. That's my little rant on that. I put a little bow on it, tie it up, fake outrage. All the people that are whining and crying and complaining now are still going to watch all the Saudi shows. Still going to watch all the Saudi shows. We'll see. We'll get our first little taste of it in January 31st when it comes to the Royal Rumble in Saudi. And watch WWE go, oh, record levels of social engagement for this year's Royal Rumble. More people talked about the Royal Rumble online this year than any year in the past. I know we're going to get it. I know we're going to get it. So, and then that right there would tell us that all the people mad about Saudi shows are not really that mad. And I'm not saying every single person is fake outrage. And now I know I'm just going and going and going. Some of them that are upset with it, I wouldn't call that fake outrage. I wouldn't call that outrage at all. I would just say upset. Like I said, the one person I know that has never watched the Saudi show because they can't condone anything in Saudi is a writer, a journalist, a reporter themselves. And so because of what's his name? I'm going to butcher this. The one journalist they beheaded or whatever. And that's the big controversy the first time WWE went and all that stuff. I mean, he's like, hey, I can't condone something. They killed somebody in my field. And we've seen, Triple H even said it, they're progressing. Turkey's trying to make it a better country. Turkey's trying to change the perspective of this 300-year-old country, almost 300-year-old country. So, me, it don't make no difference. I'm going to watch a show from LA. I'm going to watch a show from Baltimore. I'm going to watch a show from France. I'm going to watch a show from Saudi. I'm going to watch a show from Australia. They all just look the same anyways for the most part, except for some shows may have a different stage setup. Some shows may be able to have a bigger stage because they're in a bigger building. To be honest, it's all the same. GTA for Life says, this is unfair. What's unfair? What's unfair? Please explain to me what is unfair. Like, I don't get that comment at all. Please explain what is unfair. You can't just say, this is unfair, and then not say anything else. You can't just say, this is unfair. What is unfair? That they're taking Mania from us? Because I've seen that tweet as well. I've seen those comments as well. WWE's taking Mania from the Americans. I've seen those tweets. And it's like, they're just making it more accessible to people in other countries. Now, if you want to come from, say, Italy or Germany, you want to come from China, Japan, it's easier for you because it's a shorter flight now, which means it's probably cheaper for you than having to fly all the way to America. You know what I mean? They're just making it closer to other countries now. Like, if we look at a map, let's do this really fast. Google Maps. I know now I'm ranting and raving. And if we do this, let's zoom out, pull this up on the screen. And we go, where's Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia is here, right? So Saudi Arabia is here. The United States is here, right? It's a closer flight for people to go France, Italy, Romania, Ukraine, to Saudi. And for all of them, especially like Ukraine and Poland and Hungary, to all the United States. Especially if, say, it's Vegas. It's Vegas. You know what I mean? Now, they can just fly to Saudi. UK cannot get Mania, but Saudi Arabia can get Mania. Unfair. Not unfair. Now, how is that unfair? UK will eventually get a Mania, but they're just not getting it yet. If you're saying unfair, then why are you not saying it's unfair because Canada's gotten 2 Manias before the UK? Canada's had 2 Manias before the UK, which apparently a lot of people have forgotten about that as well. A lot of people have forgotten about WrestleMania 6 in Toronto and WrestleMania 18 in Toronto. Because I've also seen a lot of comments of, oh, why are they going to Saudi before Canada and the UK? Oy vey. Fake wrestling fans. I don't see how it's unfair, GTA for life. WWE and TKO are going to take the show to wherever they feel it can be the most profitable. And if Saudi's going to pay them over $100 million, go. It sounds like you don't understand business and profits and all that kind of stuff. They're going to go where they can make the most money. They're going to go where they're going to be the most profitable. Whether you see it as unfair, fair or not, why are you not mad? Because Canada's gotten two WrestleManias before the UK. Saudi's only getting 1 so far before the UK. So where's the unfair for that? GTA for life. Where's the unfair for that one? How is it unfair that Saudi gets a Mania before the UK, but it's not unfair that Canada did? You know? I'm just trying to understand your thought process here. Because it's like United States have gotten 39 WrestleManias. Canada's gotten 2. So there we go. What are you talking about, Kevin Abreu? WrestleMania 41 and 42 are not in Los Angeles. They're both in Vegas back to back. Vegas, not Los Angeles. And that's not the first time that they've done a back-to-back host city. WrestleMania 4 and 5 at Trump Tower. That was back-to-back in the same building, same city. So it's not like this is the first time that they've done that either, back-to-back in the same city. But you're wrong because it's not Los Angeles. It's Las Vegas. Not the same thing at all. Not the same thing at all. But, yeah, just a lot of people being upset for nothing, if I'm going to be completely honest. DJ, I understand you getting paid from WWE to say nice things. No, I don't get paid by WWE. WWE doesn't even give me media access. WWE doesn't even give me media passes to shows or anything like all these other people. I get nothing from WWE other than enjoyment on my TV 3 days a week with NXT, with SmackDown, with Raw, and then maybe an extra day with the PLE. So, yeah. No one pays me from WWE. So you can get the fuck out of here with that dumbass, uneducated comment. I don't make a single penny from WWE themselves. Would I like to work for WWE? Sure. I'd love to be on their social media team. I'd love to be on their graphics team and their video editing team. Sure. but I don't get paid by WWE to make this content, to talk about their brand, their content. No. Very uneducated there, GTA for Life. That's a very uneducated comment, 100%. I'll read them again. Understand you getting paid from WWE to say nice things. No, I'm not. No wrestling company pays me anything. Have wrestling companies given me free tickets to come as media, watch and talk about their shows? Sure. Done it with New Japan. Done it with AEW. Could have done it this past weekend with MLW in Dallas, but I wasn't able to make it to Dallas. Could have got the media passes to go watch the shows and then report on those shows and and make content about going to those shows and being at those shows. Again, you've seen the videos with me and Nick at the New Japan shows. You saw when we went to Vegas for the first AEW show. Well, they didn't pay us. We didn't get anything from them other than free access. That was about it. They gave us a ticket to go to the show as media. That's the closest I've ever gotten to being paid by a wrestling company, is media tickets. We've gotten it, like I said, from New Japan, AEW, been offered from MLW, and we went to the Starcast in Vegas, all as media. Where, yes, they gave us the tickets to get in. We still had to pay our way there. We still had to pay for our hotel room. They didn't pay any of that. They didn't give us any stipend or allowance or money or anything. No, we still had to pay our own ways. Gas, airfare. Like when we went to Vegas, I drove there. It was like 6 hours for me to drive. It was nothing. Nick flew. So that was on us. But speaking of Las Vegas, there was a big WWE show from Las Vegas last Friday night that a lot of people liked, including myself. It was WWE Cross, a AAA Worlds Collide. The show was headlined by El Hijo del Vikingo, defending the AAA Mega Championship, or should I say the Mega El Campeón of AAA. I think I butchered that. Against Dominic Mysterio, the current WWE Intercontinental Champion. Also, yes, Esport Gaming rules with a bit donation. Ricky Hatton passed away. I saw that late last night and was like, what? So yeah, rest in peace, Ricky Hatton. Legendary boxer. Legendary boxer. As far as Worlds Collide does go, let's get into this review and talk about this show. To start the show off, we saw, a bunch of different people entering the building. They gave us Penta and Triple H and Shawn Michaels and the Judgment Day and Vikingo, who got booed, and Shawn Michaels and Triple H walked up on The Undertaker, who has let his beard go gray, but it's still like red at the bottom of the beard. And not even gray. His beard's just white. And then it's red at the bottom. Looks kind of cool, but it also ages him a lot. Which the funny thing is, I want to know how fast his beard turns white. Because we watch these, and I don't watch it, but I see the clips on social media every Sunday of LFG, which is filming current. Like an episode of LFG, I believe, films, and that episode then gets edited. And within I want to say it's 2 to 3, maybe 4 weeks of when they shot it, it airs. So it's not like, they shot all these episodes of LFG a year ago and now the new season's airing now. They shot them 6 months ago and the new season's airing now. No, Jamacool, Undertaker, Bully, they're all going to NXT every Tuesday in Orlando to film LFG. So it's like they're filming, throwing them into the editing bay, getting them edited, getting them airing. So it's like, we see those clips and he's black beard Undertaker, but then all of a sudden he's in Vegas this past weekend and it's white and red. Anyways, the show opens up where we get I don't know, hopefully I don't butcher her name, Adia Cuevas singing the Mexican national anthem, and then Lillian Garcia singing the Star Spangled Banner, the United States national anthem. And the whole time, so they got the camera right on these singers, whether it's Cuevas or Garcia. But you have over their left shoulder, I want to say it is. Well, no, hold on. Left shoulder. I'm going to butcher her name too. I think it's Marcela Pena. And so when they're doing the Mexican national anthem, you can see her singing along with it. Then Lillian Garcia is doing the Star Spangled Banner. You see her singing along with it as well. I thought that was cool. So the show starts off officially with Penta coming down to the ring. And he comes out with the Mexican flag, addresses the crowd completely in Spanish. So I don't know what he's saying, but he's amped up. He's riled up, and he's riling up this crowd in a good way. So before all of that, we keep hearing Corey Graves' voice. Welcome from Las Vegas. It's Worlds Collide. But and I'm like, is Corey calling the show by himself? Because we don't hear anything else. He's not saying I'm here with. We then see the Spanish announced team. And then finally we see the English announced team. It's the same one from Triple Mania. It's Corey Graves, JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield, and Conan. Who Conan felt a lot more just comfortable, I guess you would say, on commentary in this show. He was good on the last two shows. The first one, you can tell he was a little like worried. Oh, I hope I don't say the wrong thing. Then on the last one, Triple Mania, you could tell he was a little more comfortable. Now we're just getting Conan. Conan just really just being Conan now, which is great. But he basically, Corey Graves is like, oh, great to see Penta. But Conan, what did he say? And Conan's basically like, he talked about, wanting to come out here and do things he hasn't done in AAA before. His brother Phoenix has been the AAA Mega Champion. He's never won the AAA Mega Championship. So it sounds like maybe he wants to challenge whoever comes out with Vikingo or Dominic as the next challenger for the title. So they didn't outright say, he's the number one contender for the title. But they're saying Penta may be the next to challenge because he said he wants to go for that title that he's never won before, which is true. His brother Phoenix, however you want to say it. In Mexico, they call him Phoenix, and that's what Conan calls him, Phoenix. He's been mega champion before. Penta is not. But regardless, the show kicks off with our first match. They called a Lucha Showcase, which this was a little interesting backstory for how this match came together. So originally the match was La Parca, Octagon Jr., Nino Hamburguesa, and Mascarita Sagrada against Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wild, Lince Dorado, and Mini Abismo Negro. And so originally, when they put the poster out in the graphic for all this, they didn't have La Parca's picture. It was LA Park. And then they fixed that and whatever. Then we hear, oh, La Parca's not doing this show. La Parca said, I'd rather stay in Mexico than work for the United States and blah, 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 and all this stuff. We're like, okay. Laredo Kid gets added. Then all of a sudden we hear like a day later, never mind, La Parca's on, but Nino Hamburguesa is not because he's got a visa issue. Laredo Kid is still in the match. So that's what happened there. The big old AAA is still AAA. As far as the match does go, it's a really fun lucha match. Like this is like one of those, like, you go to PWG and you see the match where they brought all the luchadors in from Mexico just to do one big match. That's exactly what this was. It was like a PWG party match with just a bunch of luchadors. So Lince Dorado and Octagon kicked things off with some gusto, I guess you would say. There was a head scissors and a Hurricane Rana aplenty. Del Toro and Laredo Kid squared off next, with Del Toro eating some heavy strikes in the corner. Del Toro took a super Frankensteiner, but landed right on his feet, and he kind of like stalled himself for a second because it looked like it hurt him when he landed on his feet. Wild came in. The LWO were doing a little bit of double team offense. Wild then stayed in, and Laredo Kid got the tag to La Parca. He did his little dance, shuffle thing, and then they were on. Big pop from the crowd when La Parca came in. He and Wild had a bit of a dance-off, and La Parca drop-kicked him into the corner, which didn't look good. As far as, like, Wild trying to take that bump, because he, like, squished him up against the turnbuckle. La Parca stopped dancing long enough to get a spinning slam on a Wild. And then it was time for the minis. Sagrada was given a significant size advantage over Abismo. That didn't really stop them. They were running circles through each other, and this looked great. The mini stuff here looked awesome. I hope that they focus on them more and give them more opportunities. Octagon gets tagged in. Laredo got a good pin opportunity, but only got a 2 off of it. Toro and Wild then put the work in with some more double team moves on Laredo Kid, but still only a 2 count when they went for the pin. Wild brought in Dorado, who began trading chops with Laredo. He landed a flapjack and then a super kick, but still only got a 2. Abismo tagged in and power slammed Laredo Kid. Yeah, the mini slammed the regular guy. Laredo Kid then missed a step up, and Abismo made him pay with a big old elbow. Laredo hit a head scissors and managed to tag in Sagrada, who literally spun circles around Abismo, like was just spinning around his head and his body and his head, and then finally hit that Hurricane Rana. That head scissors takedown. This then brought in Del Toro, then Dorado, then Wild, but Sagrada took them all out. Wild with the Falcon Arrow. Octagon and Del Toro then ended up the Legal Men, and they went at it for a little while in the middle of the ring. Del Toro and Octagon went up for a Tree of Woe that went coast to coast with a drop kick. At one point, Wild was back in, and he slingshotted Del Toro and Dorado about, I don't know, 25 feet into everyone at ringside. That left Abismo and Sagrada as the Legal Men in the ring. Sagrada hit a flurry of head scissor moves and got the pin victory for his team. So La Parka, Octagon Jr., Laredo Kid, and Mascara Sagrada pick up the win over Cruz Del Toro, Joaquin Wild, Lince Dorado, and Mini Abismo Negro. Really fun match here. I thought this was a great opener. It got the crowd really motivated and going, and yeah, super fun. I hope that on every one of these big Worlds Collide shows or all these, AAA, WWE produced shows, that we get one of these, maybe not every time to open the show, but on the show. These are fun. And what this is also doing is it's not just a fun party match. It's sprinkling in guys you already know from WWE with guys you may not know from AAA, having them work together, and you now learning, oh, damn, that Octagon Jr., crap, he's good. Oh, Mascara Sagrada, I really like that guy. Mini Abismo Negro, I've never seen him before, but I want to see him again. So hopefully that could be a good reason to have a match like this on every show. Whether it needs to be 8-man or 6-man or whatnot, doesn't matter. But I hope we get some people we already know, some people fans don't know, and so it's exposing them to more AAA wrestlers that they may not be aware of. That's the thing that I would love to see more with these big Lucha Showcase matches. And unlike, I know people are going to say, damn, it's just an AEW All-Star tag. You shit on those matches, but you're not shitting on this. And trust me, when I tweeted about this over the weekend, I got that tweet. And it's different for the reason I just explained. With AEW, it's All-Star tag just to throw as many people out there as possible for no reason. With this, I think there is a reason to get people exposure in front of the American audience and get people known by the American fans and the non-AAA fans. That's what I think is the difference. Instead of just Tony Khan saying, I want all these people on the show, but I don't know how to book them, so we're just going to book them all in one big match. It doesn't matter. This is an exposure match. This is getting eyeballs on people that eyeballs may not be on yet. Then we had Natalya, or should I say Natty, versus Faby Apache. These two killed it. These two had a great match. Great match. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. And basically, they said without saying the winner is going to be the number one contender for the AAA Reina de Reinas Championship. They basically insinuated, whoever comes out victorious here shouldn't be next in line for the Reina de Reinas Championship. So it's funny that Natty came out with her Natty gimmick, her shooter MMA gimmick, but still had her Natalya music and Natalya graphics. And I don't know if WWE is ever going to do it or not, but I really think WWE needs to let her be this character on Raw, this character on TV. And I get it. They like her with Maxine and with Tozawa and all that. And they think it's cute and fun. But what would be awesome is we get a little more tag team stuff. And now I'm fantasy booking. We get a little more tag team stuff with Natalya and Maxine. And even Tozawa in their corner. And they keep losing. One week, Tozawa screws something up, and they lose. One week, Maxine takes the pin. Another week, Maxine gets pinned. Or Maxine leads to Natty getting pinned. And every week, we see Natty just get a little more, and a little more, and a little more frustrated until she snaps. And she's Natty instead of Natalya. I think that would be a good way to introduce this version of her character to the main roster, to the main WWE audience. Of having her slowly, and I guess you may not be able to do that right now because Bayley's in a dual personality, split personality kind of thing that we're still kind of figuring out. But if they weren't doing it with Bayley, I would love to see this with Natty, where every week she's just slowly getting more frustrated and more pissed off that she's not getting opportunities, or that the opportunities they're getting are being squandered because the people that she's with, and she's starting to realize I need to dump these losers so I'm not a loser. And then she turns into Natty, she destroys Maxine, gives suplexes and ankle locks to Tozawa, and goes from there as Natty. As far as this match is going, Natalya got the upper hand early, but it was Apache who ended up locking her in a leg lock. Natty fought out of it, though, and the two traded some strikes. Natalya put a sleeper on Apache, but she was able to battle out of it as the two worked through an extended feeling out process. Natalya got Apache up in a classic surfboard, but Apache wouldn't give up. She wouldn't tap. Natalya threw her off and went for a suplex, but Apache turned it into an inside cradle and almost got the victory here. They then engaged in some more hand-to-hand combat, I guess you would say, with some hard lariats from Natty. Apache was having trouble standing as Natty hit her with a couple good shots to the head. She seemed to catch a second wind, though, and planted Natty with the head scissors. Apache went up top with a crossbody, followed by a big boot to Natalya's face. Apache put on an armbar, but Natalya gritted her teeth and worked out of it. The two then started trading brutal punches, with Natty screaming, "I hate you," super loud, as she rained down a couple of strikes. Natty picked up Apache and slammed her, but seemed to be favoring her arm in the process, the one that was in the armbar earlier. Natty then put on an ankle lock, but Apache pulled her legs out from under her and put an ankle lock on Natty herself. Natty then pushed her off, but walked right into a kick to the face, trying to go for her discus elbow. Apache looked to put Natty away and pulled her into the center of the ring. Apache stepped through, trying to get a sharpshooter, but Natty pushed her off, and the two rolled around trying to get the pin, with Natty coming up the victor. 1, 2, 3. So Natalya does pick up the victory here, does defeat Faby Apache, and if what commentary was saying is true, could put Natty in line for a shot at the Reina de Reinas Championship, which is their woman's title. But I thought this was a really good, fun, hard-hitting technical match. More like this from Natalya. And I get it. She's Natalya on WWE TV. She gets to be, the great, cool, fans love me WWE superstar. And then she goes and does the indies in AAA, and she gets to be the bitch Natty. And she's called herself that. She says, "I'm a bitch, and I'm going to fuck you up." That's what she says in her promos. And I just can't wait for the day when she finally gets to bring this to the main roster. Hopefully they do that. We don't know if they are going to do that, but I hope they do. So moving forward, the AAA World Tag Team titles were on the line when Psycho Clown and Pagano defended against the New Day. Sorta? Kinda? So it was supposed to be Kofi and Xavier, but Xavier actually had some surgery. He had a medical procedure done over the last couple of days and was not cleared to compete. So basically, he said he had brain surgery, but it wasn't brain surgery. But in his place was Grayson Waller, and the match was fine. The match was kind of cool. I wouldn't say this was like a great match you got to go out of your way to see, but I felt like these four worked well together. I mean, of course, it's a Pagano match, so giving it any kind of praise, cool, because Pagano's not the greatest of wrestlers, but for some reason, fans love him and he's entertaining. Waller and Psycho Clown kicked things off here, with Clown making short work of him and then sliding out of the ring to terrify Woods. They kept trying to incorporate Woods as much as they could here. He hopped back into the ring and flattened Waller with a shoulder block. Waller bounced back with a stiff shot to the nose of Psycho Clown. Pagano would tag in and kicked Waller, into next week. He kicked the shit out of him. Wild then slid out of the ring to recuperate, allowing Kingston to get in and lock it up with Pagano. Pagano tried to flip Kingston out of the corner, but Kingston landed right on his feet. And then there was a, double team from Pagano and Psycho Clown. Clown hit a split-legged moonsault on Kingston, but only got a 2 off of it. Waller then grabbed Clown from behind the ropes, giving Kofi an opening to stomp him in the corner. Waller and Kingston then traded quick tags in and out to beat up on Psycho Clown, who was isolated in their corner. Kingston tagged in and went up top, with Waller joining him on the opposite post. Then they jumped down and just punched Clown a bunch, much to the crowd's dismay. Like, they thought they were going to do big old high-flying moves, and they're like, no, we're not going to do that. So I like that. Good heel tactic there. Kingston positioned Psycho Clown on the top turnbuckle and tried to remove his mask, which made Clown angry enough to hit a crossbody from the top rope. At one point, Pagano and Clown laid out Kingston and Waller in the opposite corners and laid into them with serial drop kicks. Pagano was the legal man and climbed up to the top turnbuckle, but Woods caused a distraction, allowing Kingston to hit a big superplex, followed by a big elbow from Waller, but it only got a 2. Woods then tried to cause some distraction here, but Clown took out Kingston and then tore off his own face to scare Woods away from ringside. Clown then punched Waller's lights out, wrapped him up in a cradle, and pinned him 1, 2, 3. So the AAA World Tag Team Champions, Pagano and Psycho Clown, retain their titles. But that wasn't it. Oh, no, no. So they were about to interview Psycho Clown and Pagano when the lights would go out. Then we hear the music of the Wyatt Six. And I'm sitting here going, what? What? Oh, no. And remember, when I first watched this, I was half watching it doing the SmackDown review. But I think this happened. No, we were live when this happened. We were live when this happened. And I'm just like, why are the Wyatts here? We don't need the Wyatts? What? Anyways, they came down, beat up Pagano and Psycho Clown. Loomis and Gacy posed with their WWE tag titles. Rowan held up the AAA tag titles and basically said, we want all the gold. Oh, and also, this was after the Psycho Clown was powerbombed through a table. And I think Uncle Howdy hit his sister Abigail on Pagano. Oh, please, God, no. Why was this need? Why? You know the fans don't like the Wyatts anyways. We thought they were cool when you first brought them in and they did that murder scene. And then from there on, they've just been duds. You put the WWE tag titles on them. Fans have been bitching about it because we don't like it. Now you want to incorporate them in the tag division in AAA? Oh, Lord. Lord have mercy. So moving forward, and again, the pacing on this show, this is something I haven't talked about yet, but the pacing on this show was really good. Unlike most WWE shows where it's like, all right, you're going to watch a match. Then you're going to get a bunch of ads. Then you're going to get a video package. And then the next match is going to start like 20 minutes later. But no, they knew what they were doing here. And they were just trying to get the show going and through and boom. And so we had a mixed tag team match. It was Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice against Finn Balor and Roxanne Perez. And there is something on my glasses that is making it hard for me to see. So this is a really fun match. I like this match a lot. But I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like the hype on Mr. Iguana, I'm not saying is dying, but if it was up here at a 9.5 to a 10 coming off of that first show, it's kind of down to like a 7.5 or an 8 now. It's like, I'm not saying he's being overexposed, because that's not a thing, because we've only seen him a couple times. But I don't know. I just feel like he's not as over as he was to start. But where was I? So Perez and Balor came to the ring with Raquel Rodriguez, and Balor was carrying a nondiscreet bag, and we all knew it was in that black bag. It was his demon puppet. And they were saying that on commentary too. Oh, like JBL was losing his mind. Demonito, look, he's got the bag. He's got the bag, Corey. It's probably Demonito in the bag, Corey. Also, speaking of JBL, he said on the Something to Wrestle podcast, he is not under a contract with WWE. I don't know if that means as a performer, and he's got like a commentary deal, but he basically said, I'm not a contracted performer or whatever, talent by WWE. So that's an interesting one. But I like JBL on commentary. I've always liked JBL on commentary, to be honest. I've always been a fan of it. Like when it was him, Lawler, and Cole, or even just him and Cole. I've always thought JBL, because he's such a good talker, is really good on commentary as well. So Iguana and Balor started things off with Balor going to work on the wrist and the hand of Iguana, so he can't use the puppet. Balor went for his bag, but Iguana knocked him over and took the bag and tossed it out under the ring. He then hit an Iguana Rana on Balor and tagged in Lola Vice. This then prompted Perez to get tagged in, and Vice put her down with a shoulder block. Vice went for an armbar, but Perez reversed it into a pin attempt Also forgot to mention NXT Women's Champion JC Jane was shown in the crowd before the match because, well, Lola Vice's next big match is challenging JC Jane for the title. Vice then set Perez up in the corner, but Balor pulled her to safety before anything could happen. Vice then dragged her into the ring, along with Balor, who was trying to pull Perez back out. That counted as a tag, apparently, and they made Mr. Iguana get in and go after Balor. Unfortunately, he got too close to Rodriguez, who pulled him out and smashed him against the apron. That gave Balor a chance to stomp Iguana and then send him into the corner with some vicious strikes. At one point, Perez and a Vice tag back in. Vice presumably absolutely pummeling Perez in the corner, butt first. You would have thought I was going to say with some MMA punches. Bam, bam, bam. Nope, it was shake that ass, boop, 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 boop. Anyways, Perez tried to roll out of the ring, but Vice dragged her back in. Perez then raked the eyes, and then a flip slam to Vice. It was a weird looking move, but whatever. Vice then got back up and pulled her in for a near rear naked choke. Perez broke free and set her up on the top rope. Iguana then threw his puppet to Vice, causing a distraction and allowing Vice to slam Perez. That brought Balor in with his bag, but Iguana sent him back out. Iguana grabbed the bag and emptied it. But Balor had Demonito and appeared behind him and then hit a sling blade with it and a shotgun dropkick. Balor then went up top for a coup de grace with Demonito wrapped around his neck so he gave him a piggyback. But Vice pulled him down, allowing Iguana to slam Balor and a Demonito from the top rope. I just thought it was funny. Balor's taking all this time. He's got the puppet. He's like, hold on. He grabs the puppet. He throws it up over his shoulder. He's tying it. He's got the Velcro or whatever. And he's like, piggyback ride. But back in the ring, Perez and Vice battled it out. Rodriguez tried to get involved, but Vice dispatched of her, hit a spinning back elbow, and pinned Roxanne Perez to pick up the victory. So Mr. Iguana and Lola Vice defeat the Judgment Day. I thought this was a good match. All four worked very well together. And yeah, the puppet stuff, I know people are already getting kind of tired of it, but I thought it was fine. They didn't overdo it. I didn't think they overdid it. There was one spot also I forgot to mention where Finn was on the outside with Demonito in his hand, and Mr. Iguana bounces off the ropes, goes you think he's going to do a dive, but he throws, what's his name? What's his puppet's name? Lamesca, something like that. The lizard puppet through the ropes, right? And they timed this perfectly. They set this up perfect. He hit the demon puppet right off of Finn's hand, and Finn's just like, no! I thought it was great. Finn Balor, for all the people that say this making Finn look stupid and Finn shouldn't be doing this, you can tell Finn is having a blast. A blast. And also, they're using his wife as a backstage interviewer, so he's getting to hang out with his wife at work. Actually, we saw it earlier. No, I can't remember if it was earlier or not, but his wife was interviewing Dom, and Finn came up and was like, hey, Dom, you want to go out there and win the title by yourself? You could do that. You go out there, no help, da-da-da-da. And Dom's like, oh, you don't think I can do it by myself? I can go beat Vikingo by myself. And he's like, all right, cool. And then he looks at his wife and goes, let's go. And he's puts his arm around her, and they walk off together. But Layeska, I was close. I said Lameska, Layeska. Gotcha. Thank you, Fonzie. Layeska. You could buy those on WWE Shop. I think they put up a new version of the puppet too. Also, speaking of WWE Shop, new Kabuki Warrior shirts out today. I'll repost and retweet and then whatever those after if you guys are interested. So then we had a 4-way for the AAA Latin America Championship. This was a really, really good match. It was El Hijo del Dr. Wagner Jr., Dragon Lee, Ethan Page, and JD McDonough. And if you really think about it, well, no. Now that I think about it, never mind. I was trying to think if each person was from a different country, but then Dr. Wagner Jr. and Dragon Lee are both from Mexico, so never mind. Because I was like, we have a Canadian, we have an Irishman, we have never mind, 2 Mexicans. But it was a really good match. I thought this second best match of the night. If I'm ranking it, Dom and Vikingo killed it in the main event. Then you had this one. Then the Natty Apache match was the top 3 for me. But This match started with Lee and McDonough trading punches, and Page and Wagner pairing off as well. Wagner then sent Page out of the ring and went for a dive after him, but McDonough grabbed his ankles. Wagner turned around and clobbered McDonough, allowing Page to get in a couple shots. Wagner then sent him into the corner, and McDonough hit him with a big suplex. Also, commentary was mentioning, we keep talking a lot about how Dominic Mysterio can become a double champion for the Judgment Day by the end of the night, but so can JD as one half of the tag champs. And I'm like, oh yeah, they are one half. They are the tag champ. Oh, I completely forgot that JD and Finn were still the world tag champions. That's how little they've been doing with those belts. But Lee rejoined the fray and took on Page and McDonough, sending the latter into the former's junk face first. McDonough powered back through and sent Page and Lee to the outside. He then sentoned on Dr. Wagner Jr. Well, he'll know Dr. Wagner Jr. We'll say Wagner. Page then used McDonough as a weapon to take out Wagner and hit a face buster on Lee for a 2. Page then tied Lee's mask to the ropes and stomped on him. Stopped only to hit a few jumping jacks to show his, I guess you could say, advantage that he's got. Then a brawl broke out with everybody. They were just spamming finishers at this point, and everybody was down in a reset. Lee and Page then got up first, and then the lights blew out. And I don't even know if that's the right term to use, but the house lights turned on. And all of a sudden, it's bright. And commentary had a great save here, where they were like, oh, it looks like we were having a technical difficulty. All the lights are on now. But hey, look, you can see how packed out this building is. And Conan's like, yeah, it's a sellout. Look at all the people in the crowd. So it's like commentary really did their job here to go, wait, we can use this as an advantage to show them that this was a successful show. So I like that a lot. I like the way commentary played that up, going, yeah, all the lights might be on right now, but look what it's showing you. A packed house. The Lee stacked up McDonough and Page for a double stomp and then hit a Hurricane Rana on a Wagner by leaping over the top and sending him to the floor from the apron. He followed this up with a Liger bomb on McDonough, but only got a 2 off of it. Page then tried to steal one by sending Lee to the outside and pinning McDonough, but only got a 2. Lee then came back and brought Wagner with him, setting him up in a tree of woe. He then went to the top, but McDonough scrambled up and grabbed Lee for a Spanish fly. McDonough tried to get to Lee, but ate a Mexican destroyer for his trouble. Wagner then grabbed McDonough and hit the Wagner driver to pin him and retain the title. So, great match. I thought this was super fun, and I did see one criticism online for this match. It was, why is Dragon Lee in the match? Now, you could ask that for everybody, because nobody had to earn their way in, but you can say that at Triple Mania, Dragon Lee was in the Mega Championship match and lost. Didn't win. So why are we giving him another opportunity after he didn't capitalize on his last opportunity? So I can see like the fan griping there. But then at the same time, you got to go, well, it's not like any of the 3 challengers had to earn their way in. They kind of were just added all to the match. And I thought, they all worked well together. Very well. Great, you may even say. Very fun match. But before we get into the main event here, actually, you know what? We're going to do this a little differently. We have other stories we're going to talk about. But we'll talk about the main event. Then we'll hit the ad. Then we'll go into the Andrade stuff. We'll do a little differently than I normally do a review. So, I'm trying to see if there's anything I've missed so far. Oh, so this isn't here because it was on SmackDown. There was an interview with Dom and Ray. And Dom was telling Ray, hey, I'm better than you. I'm the greatest Mysterio that's ever lived. And coming out after tonight, I'm going to do something you haven't done, be a double champion. Which I think Ray was in WCW. Anyways. Ray goes, oh, really? Okay, then you know what? If you actually win the Mega Championship tonight, I'll personally come down and put it around your waist myself. And Dom's like, yeah? Well, it's going to happen. So there was that aspect to it as well. And I think Corey asked Conan, hey, you think Ray's actually going to do it if Dom wins here? He's like, hey, Ray's a man of his word. If Ray says he's going to do it, he's going to come out and do it. So, Vikingo and Mysterio start things off kind of tentative, feeling each other out. They move into some chain wrestling. And Conan calls this real Lucha Libre, saying the chain wrestling is a big part of Lucha Libre. and the technical side of things is what a lot of fans like as well in Mexico. So they're doing this. Dom tries to go for a 619 early, but Vikingo dodges it and wraps Mysterio up in an octopus-style hold, but Mysterio reverses that into a pin attempt. Vikingo sent Mysterio to the outside and then drove him headfirst through the ropes to take him out. He was setting him up against the ring apron. Vikingo chopped Mysterio and tossed him back in. Vikingo getting hella boos here. So it's not just in Mexico he's getting booed, but he's getting booed in America too. And I think that's because, you know, he's up against Dom, who the fans love. So they start fighting on the outside, and there's Logan Paul sitting in the front row. And so they're fighting or whatever. They get back in the ring, and like Dom's saying something, and you can see him talking. And I think it was Conan goes, "Hey, look, Dom's still talking to Logan. Are they helping each other out here? Like Logan giving him advice?" I thought that was funny. When Mysterio chopped Vikingo and threw him into the steel stairs, Mysterio then threw Vikingo back into the ring and hit a 3 amigos. Almost didn't get all of them, but he eventually did get them all. Mysterio then drop kicked Vikingo back out of the ring. Vikingo seemed to need a moment to adjust his gear. So Mysterio worked the crowd for a bit. When Vikingo rolled back in, Mysterio stomped him repeatedly and set him up for a sunset flip. Mysterio slowed the pace down, taking his time and making sure that Vikingo didn't have time to get his wits about him. That backfired though, and Vikingo got a big chop of his own, followed by a super kick. Vikingo charged at Mysterio, picked him up, and hit a snake eyes on the top rope. Mysterio then rolled out and grabbed the Mega Championship belt. He posed with it and asked Conan, "Hey, you ever worn this?" And Conan was like, "Hey, suck it." Mysterio then rolled back into the ring and locked in a sleeper. And Conan said something like, "That's my godson. I can't be too mad at him." Vikingo then fought out of it and went up top for a missile drop kick, followed by a Meteora in the corner. He then went up top again, but as he leapt, Mysterio caught Vikingo in a powerbomb. He only got a 2, and the match continued. Mysterio then went for a 619, but Vikingo grabbed him through it and then threw him off. Mysterio went up top, and Vikingo pulled him down in an electric chair position and then a face buster. Vikingo dragged Mysterio into the corner and went up top and nailed the I think it was a 630. Maybe it was a 450. But regardless, Dom kicked out. Suddenly, out comes the Judgment Day. Balor and McDonough run down to the ring, and Finn distracts the ref. McDonough headbutts Vikingo. I don't know if Ray or Dom saw this. He sees Vikingo down. He goes for the pin. Only gets a 2. Dom then puts on his mask. JD distracts the ref, and Finn goes, "Dom, Dom, Dom, Dom." And he's got the metal coin or the whatever thing he puts in the mask to load the mask. And so Dom goes to load it, but he takes too long. Vikingo sees it, super kicks Dom, and basically super kicks the loaded mask into his own face. This then leads to Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio running down and dispatching of the Judgment Day with the chair. We go back to the ring, and Vikingo hit a big kick and pulled Mysterio into the corner, essentially wanting to go for another 450, 630. And when Vikingo went for the pin, the ref was pulled out of the ring by El Grande Americano. He pulls the ref out of the ring. Mysterio then hit Vikingo from behind. Goes up top. Or no, first hits the 619. Goes up top for the frog splash. Mysterio then pins Vikingo. Essentially, the crowd chants to about 6, but there's no referee. A new ref runs down to the ring. 1, 2, Vikingo kicks out. This crowd is going wild at this point. Vikingo comes back with a big kick and a poison rana. He tried to remove the mask of Americano at one point, giving Americano a chance to slip another foreign object to Dom, who then loads the mask and uses it. He then hits a frog splash. 1, 2, 3, boom! Dominic Mysterio is your new Mega El Campeon of AAA, the AAA Mega Champion. So there we go. Dom is now a double champion. Dom is now both the Intercontinental Champion and the AAA Mega Champion. I was really shocked no AJ Styles. I'm really going to say it. They're still doing the AJ, I assume, AJ Dom stuff, because Dom had El Grande come out in their last IC title match on Raw to screw AJ. So it's like, are we done with this? Are we not done with this? What's going on with the Dom AJ stuff? So after the match, Dom poses with the belt and everything, and Ray comes out. He like grabs the belt and he goes to hand it to Dom. Dom takes it and throws it back at Ray, and he goes, "No, you said you'd put it around my waist. Put it around my waist." And Ray's a little reluctant to do so and a little dejected as well. Dom then celebrates with all of Judgment Day in the ring, and Americano jumps in, right? And so Dom goes to climb the ropes to pose with both belts, and Americano kind of like steps between him and Finn, and Finn's got like, what is this dude doing here? What are you doing? What are you out here for? Right? So Dom's getting a little perturbed, as we've seen over the last couple of weeks. I remember Finn's a little upset. And I mean, Dom ain't no dummy. Dom probably sees the way that Finn's looking at him, like, oh, every time something bad goes bad for you, I like that. I like when bad things happen to Dom. So Dom's finding more help, more people that will help him, whether that pisses off Finn or not. So we'll see how it all does play out. But Dominic Mysterio is now the AAA Mega Champion, and I think that's the right call. I think that is a great call. Esports Gaming Rule says they boo Vikingo because they want Alberto back in WWE and AAA. No. So what happened was with the Mexican fans like Alberto. Mexican fans don't see Vikingo as their top guy, as the top champion. They see him as a smaller, light heavyweight, cruiserweight style guy. So that's why they boo him in Mexico. The reason Vikingo got booed in America is because American crowds now love Dom. American crowds will now cheer Dom over a lot of people, especially Vikingo. And it's like, yes, this had a lot of Mexican fans and AAA fans probably at the show, but it also had a big WWE crowd. And when you see the AAA guy versus WWE guy, those WWE fans are going to go for the WWE guy every day. So it wasn't an Alberto thing this time. If in Mexico it is, but I just don't see the American crowds cheering or booing Vikingo because of Del Rio. They don't want Mexican or American fans could care less if Del Rio comes back to WWE. But yeah, overall, I thought it was a freaking great show. It is, let me get the time on this show. I think it's a little over 2.5 hours, maybe. This show went, let's see. You can find that out perfectly. You just go to WWE's YouTube. Oh, I didn't click the right thing. WWE Live. This show in total was 2 hours and 47 minutes. And if you take out like the couple of the matches, not all of them, but a couple of them had video packages. Probably say 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. So you can probably get it in 2.5 hours. If you cut out like entrances and stuff, you probably get this show in under 2.5 hours, maybe, or right around 2.5 hours. So really fun, really great. If you didn't watch it, I actually highly recommend. If you're just sitting around this week going, man, I need something to watch, go to WWE's YouTube and watch this show. Highly recommend it. Couldn't recommend it more. But before we get into the rest of the news here, let's hear from our sponsor. Let's be real. Life moves fast and dinner shouldn't slow you down. That's where Factor comes in. Factor 75 delivers fresh, never frozen meals straight to your door so you can skip the grocery store, the prep, and the cleanup. Just heat and eat and get back to crushing your day. Whether you're keto, calorie conscious, or just want to eat clean without sacrificing flavor, Factor has chef-crafted options that actually taste like real food. Maybe you want pancakes for breakfast, chicken for lunch, and a steak for dinner. Factor has you covered. And here's the kicker. These meals are ready to go in just 2 minutes. That's less time it takes to scroll through your delivery app and regret your choices. So if you want to fuel your hustle without any hassle, then sign up for a Factor 75 subscription today. Use our code below, scan the QR code on the screen, or use our link in the description to get 50% off your order. Eat smart, live fully with Factor. And we're back. So the big news of the weekend, outside of like everything that happened on SmackDown and Collision, Eddie Kingston's coming back. It's official. Eddie Kingston will be facing Big Bill next week at All Out. But the big news over the weekend is what's going on with Andrade and why he's been fired by WWE. And so let me look here. When did we first find this out? Was it Saturday when the stuff first dropped? I'm going to go look at a series of events here. I'm just going to the Instagram and saying when we first posted anything about Andrade. So that was on Saturday. It was noticed that Andrade had been moved to the alumni section of WWE's website. So that thing got a lot of people going, what's going on? What's going on? Saturday night, Dave Meltzer and Garrett Gonzalez do a Wrestling Observer Radio, and Dave says that I'm not sure exactly what the reason was for Andrade being let go, but he had previously been suspended with no pay, and this was a disciplinary thing. To the point of a few weeks back, he was at a SmackDown, was asked to leave and escorted out of the building. Essentially, maybe that's when the suspension took place. We don't fully know. Then we get news, and that's from Dave Meltzer. We then get news from like Fightful that this is something that his release has been in the works for about a week now, and we still don't have full details. Then John Alba of Sports Illustrated comes out and says, hey, Andrade violated the wellness policy at least once during his current or last run with WWE, most recent run, but doesn't state that he knows it's a drug test failure. Because you can also be considered a violator of the wellness policy if you don't produce a sample. If you're asked, pee in a cup and you don't, that's a violation of the wellness policy. So it was unclear if Andrade popped for something or not. But he had failed the drug test, which means a suspension, no pay, and so forth, which goes back to what Meltzer said of he was suspended. Now, Meltzer said that he didn't. Meltzer initially said, I heard he was suspended with no pay, but haven't been told and don't know if it's like drug or alcohol related. And he also said none of this has to do with Charlotte, because people started doing that. Oh, he do something to upset Charlotte. He said, Meltzer said this had nothing to do with his marriage or past marriage or whatever. And then we start getting word on Sunday yesterday. WWE had been trying to contact Andrade and he was unreachable. PW Insider then puts out a report stating that Andrade was unreachable by WWE for several weeks as he had traveled outside of the United States to some country in South America and was not responding to WWE's overtures, which may have been their final straw. But with that, we're going to read all of this here. This comes from Joseph Courier of F4W Online as he writes the following. Andrade has shared his first message since departing WWE. Over the weekend, news broke that Andrade had been released from WWE, ending his second run with the company after having returned less than 2 years ago. Dave Meltzer reported the release was a disciplinary thing, and that had led to Andrade being sent home a few weeks ago. The takedown on SI added that Andrade had at least one wellness policy violation during his most recent WWE stint, though it's not clear if that was a direct reason for the departure. Andrade has not addressed the circumstances of his exit at this point, but sent out a brief social media post on Monday, both on Twitter and Instagram. So let's pull both of those up here on screen. First up, we'll get the tweet. If I can get it to load. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. First off, Andrade did send out this tweet. We're going to pull up here on the screen. So it just says, thank you, WWE. And we're going to come back to that because I got something to say on that one. Then we go to Instagram. We go to Andrade Almas. And he sent out this, which is basically kind of the same thing, but not. He wrote down thank you on a piece of paper, and it's hashtag WWE. I want to go back to this. And there is this. This person says, the difference is crazy. That says a lot about WWE, by the way, where when he left AEW, he wrote this whole thing thanking the company, thanking Tony Khan, thanking the talent he worked with, the security people, the cameramen, the referees, everybody in that company. He thanked Kenny, Young Bucks, Taz, Shivani, Aubrey, Jerry, Hobbs, Hook, Kingston, Ricky, Orange, Thunder, Jack Perry, Austin, Colton, Jay, and many others. And my first reaction to that, where someone goes, oh, look at the difference. They're trying to shit on WWE. Like, oh, he had a better time in AEW than WWE because he thanked everybody in AEW. Well, here's the big fucking difference, because their tweet said, and again, the difference is crazy. Yeah, there is a big difference. One company, he left on his own. The other company fired him. So, yeah, there is a big difference. Leaving on your own compared to being fired. Just saying. But Andrade is no longer with WWE. We do not know what is next for him. The rumors that he refused to work AAA are false. PW Insider did report that his name never even was brought up for anything AAA. And so how could he refuse if he was never told, hey, here's creative for you in AAA? How can he refuse it if he never even did it? You know what I mean? So we'll see how it all does play out. But Andrade is no longer with WWE. He has been released by the company. And yeah, don't know what's next. Don't know what is next for the former United States and NXT champion. But with all of that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Without it, we'll be back live tonight for the Monday Night Raw review. No Luke, he's got school stuff to take care of. So with that, guys, have a great rest of your Monday, and I'll see you back here in a couple of hours. Remember, Raw starts an hour early tonight, 6 Eastern, 7 Central. No, 5 Eastern. Let me double check. I always get it mixed up because I'm Central time. It should be 7. Yeah, 7 Eastern, 6 Central. Yeah, 6 my time. So 7 Eastern is when Raw goes on the air tonight. With that, guys, I'll see you back here in about, I don't know, say it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 5 or 6 hours. We'll be back live talking Monday Night Raw. Have a good one, guys.